Ponzi schemes. What are Ponzi schemes? How did they start? How can you tell if something is a Ponzi scheme? You'll find out in this video. Hello, my name is Victor Isibo, the face behind Victor Isibo Reviews. Here on this channel, we talk money, we talk morals, we talk spirituality. Pretty much anything that makes you a better version of yourself is what we discuss here. If stuff like this is what interests you, you may consider subscribing. Turn on the bell notification icon so that you don't miss my subsequent videos. And to my returning subscribers and viewers, salute. It's a pleasure having you back on this channel. Today, I'll be talking about Ponzi schemes, and it's a very sensitive topic because I have fallen victim of Ponzi schemes in the past severally. I still do fall for some because these scammers keep upping their game and they come with their A game each time with their different Ponzi schemes. Now, let us have a little bit of historic background of Ponzi schemes. Before I now talk about the Nigerian Ponzi schemes that have existed in the recent past and other Ponzi schemes that came into Nigeria, let us have a general overview of Ponzi schemes and how they started. Now, what is a Ponzi scheme? I'm going to be giving you a very simple layman analysis of Ponzi based on my experience. A Ponzi scheme is a scheme that has this simple modus operandi. The modus operandi is using the money of new people to pay old people. That is a Ponzi scheme. Any scheme that mandates or encourage that you bring in new people. It might be a Ponzi scheme. Yes, because they need the monies of the new entrants to pay off the old guys in the system. So any platform that is giving you very attractive incentive to bring in new people, yeah, you need to start suspecting such a platform. So a Ponzi scheme is a platform that, you know, uses the money of new entrants to pay off the existing ones. And the moment the number of existing members outweigh the number of the incoming people, or the amount owed to existing members outweighs the amount of new money coming into the system, that's the saturation point, and that's when, boom, you hear that another Ponzi scheme has crashed. Now, let's have a little bit of historical background of Ponzi scheme. The word Ponzi, where did it come from? Well, the word Ponzi is actually from a certain Italian scammer who ran a Ponzi scheme. He popularized Ponzi schemes, and this man was called Charles Ponzi. You know, an Italian man who was perpetrating his criminal acts in the United States of America and some parts of Canada as well. And you know, he started a scheme, and he said that he was into postal stamps. You know, that he could buy postal stamps in foreign countries for cheap and, you know, sell them for a profit in America. But the thing now is that I need your money to be able to buy more postal stamps, okay? And Charles Ponzi was telling people that, okay, I have the ability to be paying you 50% return on investment every 45 days, which mathematically means that you're going to be getting 100% return on investment in 90 days, about 3 months. You know, that was like a postal coupon arbitrage kind of thing. buy for low elsewhere, sell for high in America, and make profit. And the truth of the matter is that this guy was not buying any postal stamps. Ponzi scammers will always want to give their scam an air of legitimacy by lying. Some will say they are trading forex, some will say they are trading cryptocurrencies, some will say they are trading this, some will say they are trading that. But what they do is they collect money from Peter and give to Paul, then tell Peter to go and look for Joseph. If you don't look for Joseph, you will not be paid. Then Peter gets Joseph, and Joseph's money is given to Peter. Then Joseph is mandated to also go and look for Noah. That is how a Ponzi scheme works, and that was what Charles Ponzi was doing, and a lot of people lost money to that scheme. So he popularized Ponzi scheme. This was around 1920. That's how come his surname was used as the name of such fraudulent schemes. That's why they call it Ponzi scheme, because his name was Charles Ponzi. Now, contrary to what many people believe, Charles Ponzi is not the pioneer Ponzi con artist. There has been Ponzi before he came. He only popularized it. Before him, in 1897, was this woman, a woman for that matter, Sarah Ho. Sarah Ho founded a Ponzi and she called it Ladies Deposit. He said it's for single ladies, and that she was going to be paying 2% return on investment per week. And many ladies invested into this thing. She said that there was a foundation, a charity foundation, Quaker Foundation, that the foundation is concerned about the plight of single women, and the foundation wants to support these women, but they have to invest a token and they'll be getting 2% return on investment every week. People went into this Ponzi scheme, and eventually they had their fingers burnt. And this woman, Sarah Ho, at some point, when investigative journalists wade into the matter and exposed the scam, she was sent to jail. When she went to jail, she stayed a couple of years, came back from jail. She floated another Ponzi again. I think she called this one Women's Deposit. She called this one, offering 7% return on investment every month, and that one also collapsed as well. And of course, about Bernie Madoff. Bernie Madoff, who bagged 150 years in jail. He was sent to jail at the end of his Ponzi scheme. He had Bernie Madoff Investment Securities Company. So you would think that you were investing in a securities company, a legitimate company, and he ran this scam for several decades. So when you tell people about Ponzi schemes, sometimes people will be like, if they want to ask whether the scheme or the platform is legitimate, they'll be like, how long have they been existing? Come on, Bernie Madoff ran his Ponzi scheme for several years before it was exposed. So the fact that a Ponzi scheme has thrived over the years, it doesn't make it legitimate. So when you want to investigate the legitimacy of a platform, stop asking how and when did they start. It's an irrelevant question. Then when you're asking who is the CEO, some Ponzi schemes have visible CEOs, like from the examples that we have spoken about today. In the time of Charles Ponzi, about $20 million was lost. So you see, this is how Ponzi schemes actually do operate. The sad thing is that Africa, especially Nigeria, is mostly being targeted by these Ponzi scammers, because Africa has a very viable market for these Ponzi schemes. When you have high population, when you have high poverty rates, when you have people suffering high unemployment rates, you have a very fertile ground for Ponzi. Now, due to the large population of African countries, Nigeria as a case study, where you have high unemployment rates and you have poor economic states, now this makes Nigeria very attractive for these Ponzi scammers to come and launch their Ponzi schemes. That's why many times you hear, a new company, a Philippines company, they are coming to launch in Nigeria. Why can't you launch in the Philippines? You hear that it's an American company, they want to come and launch in Nigeria. Why is everybody coming to Nigeria? Most of the Ponzi schemes, who the perpetrators are from all over the world, they always like to come and launch in Nigeria because of the factors that I highlighted earlier: high population, poor regulation, poor economic state. These are some of the reasons why they come to launch in Nigeria. Now, very quickly, let us talk about a little bit of history about how Ponzi schemes started in Nigeria. In the mid-80s, there was this wonder bank on Agri Road in Port Harcourt in the mid-80s called the Umana Bank. Now, for people who had experience about this Ponzi scheme in the mid-80s, I was a baby back then, but my uncle, who was a victim of Umana Bank, gave me the story of what Umana Bank was all about. This wonder bank back then. They had an office on Agri Road in Port Harcourt. It was owned by Dr. Umana. That man is still at large. I do not know his whereabouts today. I don't hear about him anymore. He was doubling people's money in a matter of 4 weeks. Come in with 100,000, in 4 weeks you get 200,000. What does he do with the money? Nobody bothered to ask. Nobody was interested. Everybody was just interested in making money. So this guy was accepting money from people and doubling it for them in 4 weeks. And as at that time, it was alleged that plenty government officials were investors in this Dr. Umana Ponzi scheme, and it was paying people, and many people built houses and did major things with this Ponzi scheme back then, before it eventually collapsed, and the then head of state whisked Dr. Umana away to the Federal Capital Territory, and that was the end of Umana, because nobody knows his whereabouts. Nobody knows what happened, whether he went to jail. The man just disappeared with his Ponzi scheme as at that time. Of course, in Edo State, you heard about Planwell. Planwell was between 1991 and 1992. That one was also very popular, and people built houses, made money, and before that Ponzi scheme also collapsed. And between 2002 and 2007, there was no Pexto in Lagos State, and that one also collapsed. Then more recently, Nigeria experienced a massive influx of Ponzi schemes. Chief among them all was the Mavrodial Mondial movement, popularly known as MMM. In fact, when you want to talk about scam in Nigeria, just call it MMM. So when you're telling somebody an opportunity, they'll be like, I hope it's not MMM. MMM came into Nigeria. It was a cash donation Ponzi, where you are matched to pay somebody. You have the person's phone number, so you call the person, tell them you're about to pay, you pay the person, then the person will confirm that they have received payment from you, and then you are also in line for you to get paid. Paying somebody you were matched to pay was called PH, provide help. Then after you provide help, you are now eligible to get help, GH, from somebody else, and your money was going by 30% monthly. They were just asking people to pay people, and the moment you had higher number of GH, get help, than PH, that was when the system collapsed. Now you have higher number of people trying to get help than the number of people that are ready to provide help. So that's why we say these schemes need new money, they need new PH, for you to be able to grow in such a system. Now, there were other ones. You had Ultimate Cycler, you had Get Help Worldwide, you had Givers Forum, you had Wintrues Network. Those ones lied that they were into UK real estate. You had Blizzgate, you had Wahoo Academy, Wahoo Advantage, different ones that were existing. And someone will ask you, this donation Ponzi like MMM, where you are matched to pay somebody and you pay the person, how are the owners and the founders making money? I think the money is going around in the community. All of us are members and we're donating to each other. There's no central account, as they will tell you. So how are the founders making money? The truth of the matter is that the founders are in charge of the control panel of this Ponzi scheme. So when there is a PH of a very huge amount of money, somebody is trying to provide help to the tune of maybe 1 million, then they would use the system to match the person to pay them, the top guys of this Ponzi scheme. So they don't provide any help before they get help. They are getting help without providing help in the system. So that is how they are making the money. When there's a huge PH, provide help offer, they will match it to pay themselves, while matching other people to get the small PH. So that was how this system was being operated. So next thing is, how do you know a Ponzi scheme? What are the red flags you need to look out for? So I'm going to be giving you 6 red flags that you need to look out once somebody is presenting a make money online opportunity to you, or any make money opportunity at all. Number 1, high profits, little or no risk. Ponzi schemes will come to you offering you high profits, but they will not talk about any risk at all. In the real world, the higher the reward, the higher the risk. So risk and reward goes together. So any platform that tells you, oh, it's all reward, there's no risk, there's something fishy going down. Now, number 2, overly consistent returns. How can a platform promise, for instance, 30%, ridiculously high amount, 30% return on investment every month, come rain, come shine, come day, come night? No, business doesn't work like that. You cannot offer a consistent fixed amount of profit margin on a business. That means it's not real. You're not being realistic, because in the real market there are fluctuations. Things cannot just remain the same like that. It cannot be stable. So when they offer you an investment or money making opportunity and they say this is the particular percentage fixed, especially when it is ridiculously high and it is fixed, then you should be careful, because something shady might be going on without you knowing it. Tip number 3 to know a fraudulent scheme is, what are their registrations? Now, many of the companies will come to you with a UK company house registration. That's not enough. Many of them will come to you with Corporate Affairs Commission's registration in Nigeria. That is not enough, because Corporate Affairs Commission will register pretty much anybody. They are not going to investigate or check for the legitimacy of what you are rendering. So long as you are in business, they will register you. Now, the major registration you should look out for, do not compromise, is the Securities and Exchange Commission registration. Let them show you that they are registered with Securities and Exchange Commissions. If you are collecting money from people and giving them returns on investment, what you are offering is securities, and there is a body that regulates that, which is the Securities and Exchange Commissions. So if you are not registered with Securities and Exchange Commissions, that means your activities are illegal, and we have no business having this conversation in the first place. Show me your Securities and Exchange Commission SEC registration. That is how I am going to know whether I'm going to put my money in your custody or not. Because if you are investing in non-regulated investment opportunities, eventually Securities and Exchange Commission or any government agency can just go and shut these people down at any point in time, and you lose your money. So do not invest in unregulated and unregistered opportunities. Tip number 4 to know if it's a Ponzi scheme: when you ask them, how does these returns come? They are always very shady in their explanation. And when you ask for proof, they don't show you any proof. They can tell you that we trade in the forex market, we trade in the cryptocurrency market. Can I see your live trades? Let me see that you are actually trading. Let me see your profits and your losses. They are never transparent. Let me see your records, financial records, publish it. I'm supposed to be an investor. Then I'm supposed to have access to how you're running your business, the profits that we are making, because the moment I become an investor, I become like a shareholder in the company. So let me see how my business is growing. They're not going to show you any of that. So that is another way for you to know that this might be a Ponzi scheme. Now, sign number 5 that it may be a Ponzi scheme is to deposit into the scheme is very easy. Very, very easy to deposit into the scheme, yes. But to withdraw, they have lots of conditions for withdrawal. You cannot withdraw on a weekend. You cannot withdraw more than so and so amount of money. You cannot withdraw once it's so and so o'clock. You cannot withdraw when you have not referred at least 1 or 2 people. You cannot withdraw if you have not done this. You cannot withdraw if you have not done that. You cannot withdraw if you have not baited in the morning. You cannot withdraw if you skipped lunch. You cannot withdraw if you shouted at somebody in the morning. The withdrawal will not go. Okay, what are the conditions for depositing into the scheme? No conditions at all. You can deposit anytime. You can deposit by midnight. You can deposit tomorrow. You can deposit yesterday. Deposit at any point in time. There are no conditions for depositing because they need new money to pay their old time members. But withdrawing out of the system, no. They always discourage withdrawal. You see them encouraging you to reinvest, compounding, compound. Instead of you to withdraw, why don't you compound so that your capital will increase and your profit will increase invariably? You know, so they are always discouraging withdrawal. Withdrawal is a no-go area. Don't even talk about that. You know, and instead of you to withdraw, they prefer that you compound, and they will always be advising you to go and refer new members. Advising you to go and refer new members so that you can cash out your earnings that you're supposed to withdraw from us, the company, directly, so that we will pay you. There's no need for us to do that. Just bring in somebody new, transfer your earnings to that person, let them register with it, then they will pay you the money. Ponzi schemes fight tooth and nail to make sure that they are not paying out. That's another red sign. Now, red flag number 6. They don't have regular marketers like the banks, marketers that they pay salaries. You know, they look for individuals like you and I, offer us very lucrative compensation plan, offer us juicy referral bonuses, and set us out to go and be preaching the gospel. Now, these scammers are hiding somewhere. They are using your face to popularize their scam. And when anything happens, they will be in hiding. They will run away. Your neighbor that you referred, it is you that your neighbor knows. Your landlord that you referred into this Ponzi scheme, it is you that your landlord knows. Your landlord does not know the owners of this Ponzi scheme. So their exit, for them to run away, is very easy for them, now putting you at risk. Meanwhile, you are there going from city to city, doing seminars for a platform you have no control over. You are vouching for them. You see, these marketers will say, I can swear, see, I trust this platform totally. Yet, this marketer is not even a salaried person. He's just depending on the crumbs that comes as commissions by popularizing a shady investment platform. So these are the top 6 red flags that will make you to identify a Ponzi scheme and stay away from Ponzi. Now, these guys are always very innovative. They'll package the Ponzi, make it look real, and innocent people keep falling day by day. But I believe that if you follow the guide in this video, you can avoid losing money to these fraudulent schemes in the future. I have been a victim. You have been a victim. We are all victims. The guilty ones are those that float these Ponzi schemes. I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a like if you did. Share it amongst people within your circle. And subscribe to this channel if this was your first time. Till I see you next time, it's bye for now.